Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something that, it usually gets buried under all the hype around educational technology. We're not talking about robots teaching kids. We're talking about the operational drag that slows every school administrator down. I mean, that friction of switching hats 50 times before noon.
Oh, it's a reality for anyone running a school, isn't it? One minute you're the crisis communicator, the next you're basically the IT department, and then you're trying to figure out a complex billing schedule. The cognitive load is just massive.
Exactly. And that brings us to our focus today, AI prompts. Now, I have to admit, when I first heard AI prompts for schools, I was a little skeptical. It sounds a bit like more homework. Does an administrator who's already drowning in emails really have time to sit there and, engineer complex instructions for a chatbot? It just feels like trading one task for another.
And that is the common misconception. It's a really fair point. If you're typing a fresh, detailed paragraph of instructions every single time you need an email drafted, then yes, you are wasting time. You might as well just write the email yourself. But that's where the school context card comes in. This is the piece that really changes the math on that.
Okay, I want to dig into this because this seems to be the difference between, say, a toy and a real tool. What exactly goes into this context card?
Think of it as your school's digital DNA. It's a static block of text, maybe 200 words, that you save somewhere and you pretty much never change it. It just defines who you are. We're a Montessori school for ages 3 to 6. Our tone is warm but firm on policy, things like that.
So instead of starting from zero, you're saying you paste this context card in first.
Every single time. It forces the AI to wear your school's uniform, in a way. Without it, if you ask for an admissions email, you get something really generic, robotic. With the card, the AI stops guessing.
That definitely addresses the quality issue. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, safety. We're dealing with schools, we're dealing with minors. I assume there's a very hard line here.
A very hard line. This part is completely non-negotiable. You never, under any circumstances, paste personally identifiable student data into a public AI tool. No names, no ID numbers, no medical records.
Okay, but this is where I get stuck. If I'm an admin and I need to draft a sensitive email about a disciplinary issue, say a fight in the hallway, how can I possibly use these tools without giving away details?
You use abstraction. You tell the AI, student A had a disagreement with student B regarding shared resources. Student A shouted. Oh, you strip out the identity, but you keep the dynamic of the situation. The AI helps you find the diplomatic phrasing, that neutral professional language that de-escalates tension without ever knowing who the child is. You fill in the name securely on your own machine later.
That distinction is so crucial. It's about using the tool for phrasing, not for record keeping. So speaking of phrasing, let's look at some of these high-impact areas. Where does this actually move the needle day to day?
Admissions is probably the biggest one. We know from the data that response time, how long it takes you to reply to an inquiry, can be a real killer for enrollment. If a parent emails you at 8 p.m. and you don't reply for 2 days because you're swamped, they've often moved on.
So you use the context card to generate a warm, personalized draft almost instantly.
Exactly. You paste their inquiry, you paste your context card, and you say, draft a warm welcome explaining our philosophy on outdoor play. You get a draft that's maybe 90% perfect in just seconds. It ensures every family feels seen immediately.
I can see that working for billing, too. Nobody likes being the debt collector.
It just removes that emotional weight. You can ask the AI to draft a payment reminder that is gentle but clear about the deadline. It strips away your own anxiety about how you're coming across.
But here's the problem I run into, and this is something we talk about a lot here at DreamClass. You generate this great email or this perfect schedule, and now it's just sitting in a browser window.
It's isolated, right?
That's the fragmentation trap. You've got it. If you have admissions drafts in one tool, student data in a spreadsheet, and the actual email in your outbox, you haven't built a system. You've just built a mess of open tabs.
Which is why the integration piece is so important. The prompt is just the creation engine.
Right. The prompt creates the asset, but DreamClass is where that asset lives and works. You want that admissions email to feed directly into the student's profile in your system. You want the schedule you drafted to be tied to your attendance tracking and your billing.
So the goal isn't just using AI, it's about centralizing the entire workflow.
Exactly. A one-stop solution means the data integrity is preserved. You use the AI to do the heavy lifting of drafting all the robot work, but you keep the management inside a single unified platform where you have total oversight.
It connects the dots between the draft and the permanent record. And that frees you up. The big idea here is that AI doesn't replace an administrator's judgment. It just replaces the drudgery. It handles the sorting and the drafting so you can focus on the relationships.
Which is the whole reason people start schools in the first place, isn't it? Not to manage spreadsheets, but to, well, manage an education.
Precisely.
Thanks for tuning in to The Deep Dive.